Good morning, everyone. Another week. I've just been and done my cardio. It is Friday today. Always going to come to you on a Friday because Friday is obviously my check-in day. So I've been up this morning, obviously walked Winnie, spoke to a few clients, done my cardio. I've got PT, and then I'll be home for check-ins. I'm also meeting a client for a coffee to just kind of have a little catch up with her, which will be really, really nice. So we're coming into the last week of the mini cut. It's gone really, really quick, to be fair. Weight has been a little bit of a bugger this week. So we obviously went out for the meal last Friday, went up by 0.4 of a kilo. By Sunday, it was back down. Monday it was dropping, Tuesday it was dropping, and then Wednesday shot up, Thursday shot up, and then my period turned up. So that will explain it. And obviously it's very, very normal for females to get fluctuations. You know, if you think about it, hormones rise, hormones drop, our body is going to have a response to that. So for a lot of females, they will potentially see sort of fluctuations on the scales. Mine tends to do that, where it kind of shoots up. Nothing, you know, I haven't changed anything, and it just shoots up. So we very much know that will be due to my period and not due to the fats. It's hard because I do feel leaner, but then I'm also just feel like I'm just like holding this sort of like watery period bloat. But I will obviously attach my video so you can see my check-in. Obviously I'll wait to hear back from Dan to see whether, obviously last week, so we might sort of just push it for the last week. I felt absolutely fine. I was definitely hungry for a few days in the week, but that's definitely a symptom that I experience. It's always a couple of days where I'm just absolutely ravenous, but I feel that I can kind of handle it. I think when you've done preps where you've got no option but to just stick to your plan and you're absolutely starving, I think you just sort of get used to it. And actually at times being hungry is actually quite good for us. Like, it's a good sign that metabolically that your body is good. You know, if you're never hungry, never waking up hungry, always full, it's not the greatest of signs. So yeah, so plan of action, like I said, do my PT clients now. Just had my breakfast in the car. Let's just sit in a nice calm state and have my oats. I'll have the PT and then it'll be back to work, and then I can report back to you whether we've got any changes. Don't think she likes pigeons, to be fair to her. She's been doing that for about 5 minutes. I better go and tell her off. Good afternoon. Just wrapping up my bit of work. I've got a little bit more to do, but I do like to just have a little bit of a chill time. I try and finish work about sort of 4 or 5 on a Friday so that I can, oh bloody hell, she's out there bloody barking at that pigeon, and have a little bit of chill time. So I have had my feedback. My food has been dropped, which I did expect. It's 1 more week of dieting and I do feel absolutely fine. Obviously been hungry this week, but that would have been more to do with my cycle. Training's been absolutely fine and I would like to just be a little bit leaner for holiday. I am quite happy with where I'm currently sitting at 66, and we started at 71, so we have lost, what's that, 5 kilos in 4 weeks, so that is pretty good going. So if we can probably shave off another sort of kilo. I don't like to fixate on weight, it's more to do with like how you feel, isn't it? I reckon 6 kilos in 5 weeks is pretty decent, and I tried some of my holiday clothes on and it is feeling better. So just having my cream of rice meal now. So I've got salted caramel, this is probably this one, and the vanilla ice cream is my two favourite. I'm not really like a chocolatey whey type of girl. I much prefer sweet. And then I'm having the caramel biscuit cream of rice and some peanut butter. My peanut butter's gone down, so I've only now got 10 grams, which never really looks like a lot, does it, when you have that? But anyway, that is essentially what is going to be happening this week. So yeah, I'm going to have this meal and chill for a little bit. And then I got to walk Winnie this evening, and actually the sun has decided to come out. This week's been really weird with the weather. Like, it's been sunny and then it's been wet and then it's been cold, and obviously going out in the mornings, it's dark now. And I was saying to clients, before we know it, it's going to be dark and cold, and we need to get ourselves psyched up for the winter. And something that I kind of just say to myself with regards to kind of moving into the winter is just keep it the same. Like, I always think you wouldn't phone up your work and say, oh, it's a bit cold, it's a bit dark now, so I'm not going to work as much, I'm not going to come in, I'm going to come in later. You wouldn't do that, right? So I often think with your kind of like routine and your kind of habits, just treat them the same. Obviously it's going to be harder, and our bodies want to sleep more in the winter because it's darker. So of course it is going to be harder, but I think if you can just keep your routine, whenever you walk, doing your steps at the moment, keep them in. Yes, it's dark, and unless you don't feel safe where you are, then just get yourself a little head torch, because that's what I do. Or you could get yourself one of those walking pads, they don't cost a lot of money. Keep your routine with whenever you train, just keep it going. From experience, I think it makes a big difference to being able to keep going and have a goal. Have a goal through the winter months. Don't just have a goal because you want to drop a little bit of weight for your holiday, and then your holiday's done in the summer and then you don't do anything. Focus on. I always like growing over the winter because I often think it's the time when you're going to be wearing baggy clothes and hoodies and stuff in the gym. So I always think that the winter months, if you're into building muscle, is a good time to do it. So yeah, keep that routine going. I'm gonna have this meal now. So far I've had me oats for breakfast, I had me eggs and sourdough for lunch, and then I'm having this meal. My potato in my dinner meal has also been dropped, so I've got less carbs with my dinner, and I've got slightly less carbs and slightly less fat with my last meal. But that's part and part of dieting, and and understanding that when you are in a fat loss phase, as you lose weight, you burn less. So we often do find that there has to be an adaptation that takes place during your time frame. Whether that's a reduction potentially in food, or maybe you look to kind of increase your expenditure. And this is why before you diet, you want to make sure that you're in a good place. You don't want to slash your calories silly low straight away. You maybe want to spend time before you actually diet making sure that your body is ready to diet. Your body's in a good place. You may be on a good amount of food, so that you're going to give yourself that runway. And obviously I did 10 months of growing before we obviously moved into this mini cup, so my food hasn't had to go, it'll probably feel quite low this week, but it hasn't had to go super low, and that's just because I set myself up for this diet, and it was only a short sharp diet. It wasn't anything, I wasn't overweight to begin with. We were just tidying up, fitting into our holiday clothes, and that was about it. So yeah, gonna have this meal now, and then take Winnie out, and then I'll catch you in a bit. Who's that? Who's outside? Hey? Who's outside, Winnie? Anyone nice? It's your daddy's home, isn't he? Oh, just had I think you can guess what I've just had. A lovely shower. Everyone's home. Everyone's home now. So I thought I would talk about
what I've done to drop body fat, because I probably not really shared that. So obviously, like I said, I made sure that I was ready to diet. So 10 months of being in a surplus. We dropped my food to maintenance for, I think it was like a week or two before, and then obviously we started the mini cut. By kind of doing that, you can kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, Winnie? You can, I can't think of the word that I'm thinking of. You can guarantee, that's what I'm thinking of. You can guarantee that if you've been maintaining on a certain amount of food, certain amount of expenditure, and then obviously you drop your food, you can almost guarantee that you're going to obviously drop into a calorie deficit. So we did that. We put 4 lots of cardio in, and obviously I do between sort of 15 and 17k steps. So obviously my expenditure is quite high, which is probably a factor for why my food can stay higher. Like, it's, you know, the deficit is always going to be in relation to you. So like, you know, if I'm expending more and burning more, then obviously my calories potentially going to be higher than somebody who isn't. But what else have I done? I've tracked and weighed my food. You know, I've done this for so many diets now that, you know, it's that saying of what we measure, we ultimately can manage. So I've tracked my food other than the meals out. Like I said, I made some good kind of guesstimates, but I've pretty much tracked all of my meals. I do eat meals over snacks because I personally feel that fills me up. I feel that snacks is something that you kind of like, I don't know, when you're a bit bored or you're a bit peckish, whereas I personally find that having meals, I feel a lot more satisfied. I do also put meal timings on my meals, and I find that this kind of helps. You know, I don't like to go long extended periods of time without eating, and I find from like a satiating point of view, kind of having a meal sort of almost positioned every sort of 3 to 4 hours works really well for me. So I have 6 meals a day, and they've all got protein in them, they've all got carbs in them, they've all got fats in them, they've either got veg, fruit or salad, and that always works really well for me. So yeah, in a nutshell, you track your food, you stick to the plan, you understand that obviously when you're in a fat loss phase you need to be in a calorie deficit. I think the time frame, understanding the time frame, knowing the time frame, I think works really, really well, because obviously when you're in a calorie deficit, you're on less food, and there does have to be some sacrifices that you have to make. You can't just diet Monday to Friday and then eat what you want and expect the same response as somebody that would follow their food or follow their calories over 7 days. So I think set your fat loss phase up in the way that you want it to be. So like for me, I only wanted to do 5 weeks before my holiday. So I knew how long it was going to be. And I always say this with clients, like we set the fat loss phase up, unless you're doing something like prep, and that's obviously then worked out on a specific time frame for obviously your show, and it does tend to be obviously longer because the goal is obviously more extreme. So that normally is 16 weeks plus when you're doing sort of a bodybuilding prep. But I have clients, you know, lifestyle clients, where we kind of establish how many weeks they're going to diet for, and then we follow that up with either then having time at maintenance where their food is obviously higher. They can maybe include a little bit more flexibility, and I definitely think that it just makes dieting easier. You know, we want to get in and we want to get out. I think with fat loss, I think, you know, if you're doing it for a few days and then cheating on your diet and then not really making as much progress, then it's not going to feel as good, is it? So ultimately, that's what I've done. I've tracked my food. I've understood that I need to be in a calorie deficit. I've built my meal plan around, you know, all of the foods that I'm eating now were exactly the same foods as I was eating in my grow phase. I'm just simply eating less. That's literally it. And I think that can also make a difference. Like, often people will go, right, I'm dieting now, and they just cut out all of the things that they had before, and it's like, well, maybe you didn't need to do that unless your diet was obviously absolutely crap. then yes, maybe you're going to need to make some changes. But you don't need to completely cut everything out. Like if you enjoy having, you know, bread, like I love having sourdough, I've still got bread, you know, I'm just not having as much. So I think that's also something to note is, you know, to not be super extreme with your diet. I think that's often where a lot of people go wrong. Right, I'm going to cut out all of the carbs, you know, I'm going to cut out chocolate completely out of my diet. Whereas actually, if you just portion control these things, you probably could still include them in your diet, and then you'd probably actually enjoy the diet phase a lot more. So yeah, that's what we've done. We mapped out the time frame, we reduced the portion sizes down, we've tracked our food, what we track, we measure, we've hit our steps, we've done our cardio, and we are here today, 6 kilos down in 5 weeks. So yeah, pretty good. So just obviously had a lovely shower. I walked Winnie just before, and then I'm obviously going to go down now. You don't know that I'm going to go down now. I'm going to go down now and make the dinner.
Good morning. Sorry, the lighting's not very good in here. Anyway, I've just got up, next day now, didn't do a lot, had my dinner, went to bed, a lovely sleep, and I got quite a busy day today, so I was like, do you know what, I'm going to get up, do my cardio, go home and walk Winnie now, because normally I walk Winnie straight away, so she's probably going to be like, why have you left and not taken me out? So I head out and walk Winnie. I'm training with a client today. I'm going to her gym, so we're going to do upper together, so I can take you along for the ride for that. So I just thought I'm going to get up, I'm going to do my cardio. Normally I do my upper and then I do my cardio after, but I thought I would just get it done this morning. I've got a little bit of work that I need to do, a few things that I need to go through, some clients' bloods and bits and bobs like that, to make sure that we are optimizing our health. I would always recommend people getting bloods done at certain points. The example that I always like to give is that we get an MOT on our car, right, every year to make sure that the car's okay. And sometimes you might think your car's fine, you take it for an MOT, and then it fails on something. And it could be the same with your body. Like, you could be absolutely fine, which is great. There may be certain reasons why you may want to investigate your bloods, or you might find that you're absolutely fine and then you get your bloods done and there's certain markers on there. You know, we want to be optimal. You know, an optimal body is going to make you feel good and ultimately is going to allow you to do whatever you like it to do. So yeah, I've got a few of those to go through this morning. I've got the YouTube to edit from last week. I'm a little bit behind, so yeah, busy day, so I just wanted to get ahead. So head in now, walk Winnie, and then I will have my breakfast. I'm definitely waking up at the moment, like, I normally wake up a little bit hungry, and I think that's quite a good sign to wake up with an appetite, but I'm definitely waking up starving at the moment. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to having me breakfast. gonna have to do this backwards because I've just been to the gym, so I will insert some clips so that you can see the session. It was a good session. I went over to one of my online clients, her gym, and we did upper, and I used to train there years and years ago, so it was nice to actually go back there and have a really good session. She's been doing a grow phase, and then she's just dropped into a mini cut, so it's really cool to see kind of the muscle that she's built, and obviously she's getting a little bit leaner now, which often obviously we do the build, we do the mini cut, and obviously we reveal the build, which was exciting to see. So I brought my food with me. I've got my cereals, my chicken, I've got my almond milk in here, so I'm just gonna sit and have this. And then I have a beauty treatment that I'm going to go and get done, and then it'll be home to get my steps in and walk Winnie. Nothing exciting is happening on Saturday. I've got not having any meals this weekend, like meals out this weekend. Just going to have my normal meals at home for the last week, because obviously come next week we're on an all-inclusive holiday, so I very much will be enjoying lots of different meals. So yeah, gonna go and have me treatment, and I'll catch you in a bit. It's turned into a lovely sunny day now. I managed to go home pretty much with YouTube, so don't forget get that uploaded. I'm just out getting that on the steps in. I need to go and get a couple of bits to from the shops, so rather than drive, walk. I always say that, but if there's an option to walk, because it will benefit you. So yeah, a couple of bits from the shops. Niall's just told me that he wants a curry for tea, so I'm gonna make him a curry. I don't think I'm gonna have a curry, I'm just gonna have my dinner, but I am the chef in the house, and to be fair, we do eat similar easy meals in the week, but if he wants something a bit different, I suppose I better cater to his needs, hadn't I? So I'm going to leave this YouTube here, just obviously update on how the mini cut's going, which obviously it's going well. We've got one more week to go, so one more week and it will be what it will be. Obviously my period turned up this week, so my weight obviously didn't drop as much, so I'm anticipating this week that it will drop a little bit more, moving into the follicular phase. So yeah, I will catch you on the next one for the final week of the mini cut before we are off on holiday.